So reindeer, what makes them special is the fact that they're the only Arctic species of deer in the world. And that means that for most of the time they'll be up in high Arctic tundra terrain and in very cold conditions. So they can live cold temperatures down to minus 72 degrees Celsius. We don't even feel the cold until about minus 35. So they're really, really hardy animals that live high in the mountains. They typically have very, very large feet, so they can get around in the snow quite easily. Their feet are almost natural snowshoes, and their coats keep them really nice and toasty throughout the winter time. They actually prefer the cold more than anything else, so they actually love to be up on the snow in the high places. Typically, they don't prefer the warmer temperatures quite as much, and obviously don't like rain, like the vast majority of us too. So for reindeer, they'll want to be in the cold, in the high Arctic tundra, and that's where they feel like they're happiest and their best.
So reindeer are actually native here in Scotland. If you go back far enough in time, you would have found them roaming here completely naturally, but they had died out. So what they need is a cold habitat to live in. And as the climate has changed, it's meant there's less space available in the UK for them to have the right conditions. So they had died out partly because of their habitat getting smaller and partly due to overhunting. So our herd was actually reintroduced in the 1950s. So originally from Sweden, but most of our reindeer, like Spider here, are Scottish born and bred.
Typically when they're out and about, the food they like to eat lichen. That makes up most of their diet. Lichens are reindeer's favourite food. And they also quite like to eat lots of flowers that grow up on the high plateau as well, mushrooms and berries as well. Typically when sometimes people maybe bring them things in like plastic, like glitter or little toys or balloons, anything like that really, reindeer aren't particularly big fans of at all. So they like to keep to the natural food source which they can find by themselves in the mountains.
So our reindeer are first trained to pull the sleigh when they're 3 years old. So at 3 years old, they're pretty much fully grown. That's maybe like an 18-year-old human. So they've got the height. They just don't need to do a bit of bulking out, but that's when they'll first learn to pull the sleigh. Reindeer are pregnant for around about 7.5 months. So the breeding season for them is September, October, and then most of the calves are born in May. And that gives the calves all of the summer months to get big and strong before the snow arrives.